Good evening. Been a few days since I've done a video. Been manic week this week. Really trained hard. The groups have been training hard as well. I thought I'd just give you a quick run through of what's been going on. In the last video I did was about when Dan Patton come up. I had a great day riding then. Everyone was happy, good buzz within the group. And then Wednesday was a rest day, I think. Can't remember. And then Thursday was a tough session with Steve and Anthony. It wasn't as windy as the last 2 days, but it was very testing. We were doing steady, all the flat and rolling stuff was steady, and then on the steeper, sharper climbs we're doing high cadence efforts, but trying to keep it within the group, trying to keep it grouped up, and keeping the cadence range around about 100, 95 to 105. There was no sprints, there was no like edging each other. It was just trying to keep it nice and smooth and just working on technique, rather than trying to destroy and to win the sprint for the top of the hill. That went well. All three of us were going very well. It was a tough ride. Steve is going exceptionally well at the moment, and Anthony is also in a good place. So both clients are in very good shape at the moment. And then that was on Thursday. Then Friday, very windy day. Most people didn't want to risk it, but I have got a new client that I needed to take out, just so we could look at his riding style, and also look at the possibility, because we were going into a bike fit after the ride, so we had to go and do a ride. It wasn't too bad, planned the route, so it sort of cut in and out of the wind, got plenty of shelter, and then we returned, performed bike fit, made quite a few changes. So I'll be interested to hear from him to see how those changes, how lowering the saddle as much as we did, and also the tweaks we did on the front end. Let's see how they help improve his performance. And then there's today. Today we had a group of 6, and I wanted a hillier route. I wanted about 3 or 4 hours in the bank today. So I believe I'm looking at who I'm looking at here. I didn't record my ride today. My iPhone's broken, so I lost its charge and stuff. So I'm looking at Paul Ranson. We got 50 in 2 hours 46. Cracked out a good pace today. Would have been nicer to do a bit longer, but what would it have achieved? We had some good blocks at tempo and threshold, and we certainly had some blocks of VO2 max and beyond. There was no real endurance JRA riding today. It was all very to the point. And what was noticeable today was how we rode well as a group in the wind. The more and more we ride as a group, the less I have to tell them how to ride, which is what I want. I don't want to have to. I'm not there. I have to always tell them to do this, do that, do that. And they did it all on their own today. Yeah, that's cool. So we're taking short turns in the wind. There was a few times, and that's just something to think about, for when it is windy. Always be aware about where the wind's coming from, which side you need to sit on, the communication within the bunch, so you know who's sitting on your left or your right, and give them room as well. It's always something to be aware of. And I think I'm going to do a separate video on that later, one later on next week, because there is quite a lot to talk about how group riding skills. A lot of people could benefit from that video. Right. So yeah, today's ride, it's very tiring. The wind really took it out of the group. I just want to say one thing today. Peter Drew, come on board. I think I mentioned his name before. Peter Drew, you are outstanding. Your riding and your dedication is outstanding. I'm not saying that everyone else is as well, but Peter, you're coming on leaps and bounds. And we had a discussion the other day about possibly getting you into some racing. Whether that will happen or not, that's your decision. But I will certainly be happy to help you, and it would be an honour to see you pin on a number and see if we can get you going and get you going into the racing. So I'll be signing out now. I've got a nice meal being cooked for me tonight, and then we hopefully tomorrow, hopefully the weather, we're lucky with the weather, and we get to a nice sort of KV club riding. But fingers crossed, the weather stays good. So everyone have a good Saturday night, and I'll speak to you all later. Take care. Bye bye.